Welcome back to the Team to Beat Miami Heat podcast, your one-stop shop for daily Miami Heat content. My name is Amir. Got a special guest joining us on the podcast. Digital Adel is back. How are you doing today, Adel?
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for having me back on, Amir. Really appreciate being here. We always have a great time talking about the Miami Heat, and I have no doubt we're going to do it again today.
Yeah, and I'm glad you're doing better because the Miami Heat are not doing great right now. They are on a 4-game losing streak. They've lost 4 out of their last 5 after they had, what was it, a 6-game winning streak? And They looked great. And in these 4 games specifically, they're averaging 108 points per game. So obviously the shooting has gone down, the bench scoring, but the defense as well. I don't think it's just the offense. So
no,
it's not just the offense, right? But when you watch these games, Adele, like, what's the biggest thing you think that's gone wrong during this stretch?
Well, to say what's gone wrong, I would say that's phrased incorrectly. I think it's more of what the league has done to catch up to what the Miami Heat are trying to execute. So the Miami Heat led the league in pace for much of that run where they're winning all those games, surpassing all those expectations. They were also shooting above all of their averages. Bam was shooting above his average. Simone Fontecchio was shooting above his average. Norman Powell was shooting just about at his average, like 40 some odd percent. He's like a 40% three-point shooter on his career. And so everybody, Drew Smith, Davion Mitchell, everybody was just shooting above their averages. Jaime Jaquez Jr., when he was healthy, there'd be no drop-off when Norm would come off the court because Jaime was just a wrecking ball in the lane, getting anything he wanted. The floor was spread wide open. The pace was fast. What happened, teams are now, as soon as the Miami Heat get a rebound, they're stymieing the outlet pass, taking away that quick hit ahead to stop that momentum and force of them getting downhill in early transition. And they're getting 5 guys underneath the three-point line. You'll see 10 feet underneath the three-point line every single time down, and they're daring the Miami Heat to shoot threes. And they don't have enough shooters to compensate for it. If you remember back to what I said early in the season, prior to the season beginning, my 2 biggest worries were who's going to shoot the ball for the Miami Heat outside of Tyler and Norm, and then also who's going to be the engine and the facilitator to be able to keep this thing going.
Davion's been doing good, though, on that side note. But also, yeah, when you were on my podcast last, I think you talked about that also specifically. You said it before the season started, but then you also said three-point shooting is going to be their Achilles heel, and they're going to live and die by the 3 to a certain degree, and it depends on, it's a make or miss league, and if they're not going to make their threes, and those guys are going to be your high-volume three-point shooters, Norm and Tyler, when he came back, because we knew Tyler was going to be out for those 8 weeks.
Yeah.
We figured we don't have enough because Wiggins is not elite. We said basically to Davion, he's going to come back down to earth. Definitely. From last season. What is he shooting though right now? He's shooting 39%, which is crazy, but like he was shooting 46%, which we knew.
But it's a lot like Wiggins though, where it's going to be a feast or famine, where he's on and he's going to make a bunch, or he's in a drought and he misses and he's not making them. And that's what's been happening lately. Same thing with Simone Fontecchio. Like Simone Fontecchio was shooting like 50% from 3. There was no way that was sustainable.
No.
And he goes through these long stretches where he cannot hit a shot. And then he'll go on a streak where he can. It's just very streaky. And it's hard to count on those guys when they're not consistently hitting shots. So if teams are going to pack the paint, you have to make shots to get them out, to come out.
Yeah, so on our bench, one, we don't have enough three-point shooting coming off the bench. It's basically only Fontecchio, he's shooting 37%, which is great. But he's inconsistent because he's a what? He's a role player. Role players are consistently inconsistent. That's my motto. That's my phrase. That's why you shouldn't get too high or too low on basic role players. Guys that are, when I say basic, I mean the guys that are like 8 through 11 or maybe 9 through 11. Like,
yeah, they're not the top of the rotation guys. They're the second batch, the bench guys.
But yeah, and then like you have Jaime, who's not gonna provide any 3-point shooting. Really, he's going to hit 30% of his threes. Takes 1 to 3 3-pointers a game. Really, like he's probably
Right.
averaging like 2 threes a game or less. Even I would assume. So
Right.
that's a big issue. But the good thing, though, at least, is Tyler and Norm are shooting at a high clip, but they're going to have these stretches and pockets where they are having a 1 or 2 games where they do go 0 for 6 like Tyler did, or where Norm shot 4 for 12 or 4 for 13. He had to put up those threes because no one else was putting them up. Which is
Right.
unfortunate. They were stacking, they're packing the paint, they're protecting the rim, they're trying to prevent Jaime going down the highway, as Eric Reed loves to say.
He loves saying that.
Yeah, I like it. Jaime, highway, it rhymes.
The High Bay Highway.
It
Yeah.
rhymes. I didn't get it at first, but then I'm like, oh, Jaime way.
You're funny, dude.
Anyway, listen to what I say about Jaime. And
Oh, there it is. Bars. He's dropping bars.
there we go. But yeah, they like Orlando was leveraging their size, daring the Miami Heat to shoot specifically in that game. That I did notice it. I haven't noticed it completely until you said it. I did notice though the last few games though they were trying to eliminate that quick outlet pass right towards half court to get them going. Like unless someone's bringing the ball up, they would just usually pass it up really quickly, a couple dribbles, throw it to Andrew Wiggins on the wing or whoever it may have been, and that's slowing us down. But I don't understand why we're not just going into like a pick and roll. Like we know Tyler Herro needs a screen in order to get to his spots. Not always, but a majority of the time he does need a screen. So like he was averaging like 12 pick and rolls or whatever like a game last year. He's only doing like 2 at this point. Like when they do try to slow us down in that half court set, like why are they not just going to the pick and roll?
Well, so this offense isn't going to use pick and rolls. People need to understand that if they do, they're going to call them very rarely and situationally. They're trying to spread teams out and they're trying to be able to go quick. And whenever you bring a screen into the area, you bring 4 bodies into one spot and it messes up your spacing. So everybody keeps saying this. Oh, we need to have picks. Everybody complained about the offense last year. Every single person talked about how terrible the offense was, how Spo's not innovative, all this crap. And now they're calling for the exact same offense to come back.
No, in pockets, I would say. Maybe like when the game is slowed down, when you're not able to create that spacing. Because when you're doing and when you're trying to create that space and you're attacking closeouts and you're trying to go downhill one-on-one, which Davion Mitchell has been doing exquisitely. His left hand dribble where he doesn't even go to the right side and just does that layup is beautiful. Right. But like the whole point is like drive and kick. Like that's kind of like the biggest thing we're trying to do. But then we don't have the 3-point shooting to make that sustainable. We were hot for the first few weeks. And then when we get cold, then we lose to teams like the Mavs and the Kings. That's not the only reason. Their defense has been pretty bad at times also, not up to par as a typical Miami Heat defense would be. And I think that's because we don't have a lot of guys that can guard the point of attack or just or that can switch outside of Wiggins, Bam, and Davion, really. Like we don't have the Haywoods, the Caleb Martins, like the multiple plus defenders coming off the bench. Like Simone's fine. Jaime's good, but like we don't have like elite defenders across the roster. So like the defense is good collectively, but like there's lapses in a few games and it looks horrible. We let Zach LaVine score 42. We let Desmond Bane score 37. And like we can't allow that because we're going to get cooked. We can't.
The point of attack defense is a problem. Andrew Wiggins isn't the same guy he was when he was in Washington, whenever he was in a Golden State playing for the Warriors during their title runs. He's not that guy anymore.
No.
His point of attack defense could be okay.
It's not consistent.
He has moments. Exactly. He's not consistent. And the point of attack defense has been the biggest problem for the Miami Heat in the last couple of games. Tyler Herro gets hunted every game. Every game. It's a problem. You're going to have a lot of trouble unless you're scoring 130, 140 points a game like they were in the beginning of the season. You're going to struggle to win games if you can't get a stop on the other end. It's going to be very difficult. So let me give you this lineup. And this is going to highlight a lot of the problems with the Miami Heat. Andrew Wiggins, Norm Powell, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Herro, Davion Mitchell. In those 4 games they've played together, they have the 4th best lineup combination in 3-point percentage at 42.9%. They are 3rd in the league as far as lineup combinations in assists per game at 11.
Is that all Davion mostly? Because I know Tyler.
A lot of it's Davion,
right?
Yeah, a lot of it's Davion Mitchell. I apologize. 10.3 assists, not 11. So a lot of it's Davion Mitchell. But the problem is the bench can't sustain that production without Jaime being the Jaime he was before he got injured.
He's hurt right
now. That he's injured, what happened?
What is he hurt with? The groin again?
It's a groin. Yeah, he injured his groin again.
He reacted?
It's a different groin injury for this season, but it's good. It's really similar. He cannot jump anymore. He's barely getting over the rim.
That's why he wasn't finishing at the rim. He wasn't
100%.
Even on that one dunk, it didn't look like he dunked it. Was that last game where someone intercepted the ball after we scored a basket in the first half?
Yeah.
I think we intercepted the pass at half court, and then we got like a bounce pass from Davion where he had a wide open dunk, and he dunked it hard. But I noticed, I'm like,
barely got over the rim.
Barely. Yeah. It was with emphasis, but he barely got above the rim, and I was like, wait, Jaime has more hops than that. So I didn't realize
he does.
You're right.
He's been injured
in the past.
And that's what's been affecting his ability to finish in the lane. And that's really affecting those lineups because people are collapsing and he's not finishing. If that's the case, he's got to get back to making sure he swings the ball. But he's swinging the ball out to the 3-point line and nobody's hitting threes. Fontecchio's not hitting threes. Drew Smith is Drew Smith. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. There's not really a guy that comes off the bench and is really lighting it up for the Miami Heat right now.
For sure. So, okay. So the Heat, I didn't realize they're not playing till Monday. I was like, oh, they're playing tomorrow against someone, right? And then they're playing Toronto on Monday. They're no pushover now. They are only 1 game ahead of us, technically. I mean, the East is pretty close. Right. Kind of crazy. They're 5th, 15-11, but they were second when the Heat were 3rd. So they're playing pretty good this year. They've lost 4 in a row themselves. I think they're coming back down to earth. They haven't played a lot of the great teams. I know they beat the Knicks once and the Cavs a couple times, but the Cavs don't look as great this regular season, even though Donovan Mitchell's been playing amazing. But we're playing them next. No easy game. I thought we're playing the Nets. So I was like, oh, we're no way to get right by other than playing the Nets. And then if we lost to the Nets, I was like, I'm going to crash out. But I didn't realize we're playing the Raptors on Monday. So who, in your opinion, has to step up the most for this team to snap the losing streak? If you had to pick 1 or 2 players.
The biggest player to me, it's going to have to be on Norman Powell, and it's going to have to be on Tyler Herro. Tyler, rightfully so, has gotten a lot of criticism since he came back, and that's because, again, he cannot play defense. So unless his offense is elevating the people around him, you got to have a serious conversation about the future and fit with the Miami Heat. Because they don't have a guy. They don't have the number 1 guy.
No.
They got people that are like Bam is a superstar in his role. He's not a role player. He's a superstar, but it's for defense. And that covers 1 through 5. He can defend 1 through 5. He rebounds. He does score, but not at a superstar level. That's not his superstar role. Tyler has to be a superstar on offense. He's got to be an offensive engine. The thing that has concerned me the most about Tyler Herro's play isn't the shooting, because he's been very efficient since he came back.
40% from 3.
The issue is the ball sticks. It takes too long to get the ball moving. This offense is predicated on driving, getting the help defense to take 1 step over, and you kick it. He doesn't do that. Not only does he not do that, he drives into 2 people and tries to shoot floaters over top of 2 people. Sometimes he'll make it, but that's not how the offense functions at its best. It's drawing 2 and kicking, driving into a gap, getting the help defense to collapse a little bit, and kicking. He's got to move the ball. The ball's got to move quicker. And the second biggest thing, they need to make shots.
Yep.
Outside of that lineup combination I gave you, The role players need to make shots. Pelle Larsson, if he's healthy, Drew Smith, Simone Fontecchio.
For sure. So if you're Spo, what's like your simplest fix you'd implement immediately to get the team back on track? Like, do you stagger Tyler and Norm so that Tyler's not closing, so he's not getting hunted? Or do you continue with the same lineup that you mentioned? That was what you said, the fourth best lineup? And was that the end of the NBA? You said the fourth best lineup?
Well, out of the teams, all right. So the way I filtered it, because some of these lineup combinations, they only play one game together for like a couple of minutes. It was out of teams that had like 14 or more 3-point attempts, right? Mm-hmm. They were the fourth best 3-point shooting team with those amount of attempts. That lineup combination. Now, that being said, the worst lineup that they have in terms of turnovers is Bam, Tyler, Mitchell, Larsson, and Ware when they play together. They have the most turnovers as a lineup combination for the Miami Heat. And that's with like 6. It's tied for third in lineup combinations in the league.
Third
for
worst.
Most turnovers. Third worst.
Yeah. How much of that is Kel'el?
He's been bad, dude. People like to sugarcoat Kel'el struggles. He had a great stretch. He had a great stretch from November 21st up until like a week, a couple of weeks ago. And it's been really bad those couple of weeks. And people are getting on Spo for not playing him, but he's not playing him for a reason. He's been out of position defensively a lot, and he takes himself out of position. One time, they were back. He was in the paint waiting for the guy. The guy goes to Euro step. Kel'el mysteriously just turns sideways. You can't defend people turning sideways. You square up, you keep your chest, they move one way, you slide.
Arms up.
Right.
Straight up.
When you turn sideways, whether you initiate the contact or the offensive player initiates the contact, guess who the foul's on regardless? The defensive player.
Yeah, and also if they're perpendicular from you, then like that gives them, or if you're sideways, they can then put their shoulder into you and give you a little Goran Dragic golden shoulder and give you a little bump, and then they get a little leverage versus when they're like, they can't go into your chest.
Oh, they can, but
they can, but it's just more difficult. It's a lot easier if they're on their side. You can get them off balance a little easier.
Yeah, but it's going to be a foul on the defender every single time because it's not a legal guarding position.
Exactly, because at least because again, if you're square, you have an opportunity to get a charge, right? If you beat them,
get a charge, or you stand straight up and down. You're 7'1" with go-go gadget arms.
Exactly.
Yeah, man, it's just been a rough go for Ware, and I see all over social media people are blaming Tyler for it. They're blaming Spo for it. Well, Spo took him out of the starting lineup. It threw off his mojo. They're not kids, man. He's 21 years old. He can drink. I mean,
he can go to war.
He could go to war forever ago, right?
Exactly.
I mean, he's not a child. So, like, one guy on Twitter started talking about depression and all these mental illnesses, and I'm like, when did Kel'el Ware ever say any of that? Where was that ever reported?
No.
And he was just like, I'm just talking about in general. I was like, that has nothing to do with Kel'el Ware.
Yeah.
His effort, a player's effort, and this is actually interesting. I know we're getting long on time. But Will Hardy of the Jazz was caught on camera telling his players he's sick and tired of having to tell them to play hard. And
as you should be.
And Spo was caught in a timeout talking, and this is paraphrasing, nobody is playing like they want to go to Vegas. Meaning you're not giving the effort and having the urgency like they wanted to go to Vegas for the NBA Cup.
Not just Kel'el, the team. In general,
not just Kel'el, it was a lot of them. But Ware is also a pretty big culprit of that.
Do you think he doesn't deserve time at all? Like, I mean, does it warrant him getting only 12 minutes? Because, like, I get it, like, whatever his season average, maybe 24, 25. Like, still give him, like, 18, 19, 20 minutes. Especially, I understand. Like you pull him, you learn the lesson, you talk to him, but then you sit there, let him process, let him think. But you're playing against Orlando, who's oversized, and Wendell Carter Jr. just takes our lunch money on the offensive board. Like every game that we've played, he's killed us on second chance points. So it's like, I get it if it's a smaller team, maybe, right? You're like, but we needed him in that game. And I understand what you're saying, him being out.
But when he was in the game, he still only had 2 rebounds.
I mean,
what?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, was it lack of effort? Was it the one hand bullshit that he usually was doing in the past?
One of my biggest problems is the inconsistency with boxing out and using 2 hands. He was better at it for a stretch, but we saw it last season. He would get better at it, then he'd go into a lull and just get lackadaisical. Yeah. So my thing is the turnovers. One thing I've noticed in this stretch of poor play for Ware, he'll get a rebound and he'll immediately turn it over.
Get scared.
It drives me crazy.
Oh my!
He'll throw some of the craziest passes. I'm like, dude, just do a simple pass to the guy next to you. It doesn't have to be anything high level. I don't know, man. If Spo thinks he needs to sit, he needs to sit, man. He's one of the best coaches in the world. One of the best in the world. People don't think he tried other ways to motivate him. It's like magically he plays better when he gets yelled at. You can't just yell at him all game.
Yeah, some people like that though. You get disciplined. Yeah. Like, I won't make that mistake again, Dad. And then you want to mute.
No, I know. No, you're right about that. I mean, some people need that extra motivation, but you just can't consistently. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. A coach is not responsible for motivating a player to play hard at this level. If you got to motivate a guy in the NBA to play hard, you better reevaluate what that player is going to do in the league. Because Ware he has all-star potential. He has all NBA potential.
Yeah, I agree.
But will he ever realize that if you got to continuously curse him out and get UD to curse him out? No.
All right, well, let's finish on a positive note. Do the Miami Heat end their losing streak on Monday against the Raptors, or
I think they wait for the Nets? I think they absolutely could. I think if Norman Powell gets back to form, Tyler Herro starts moving the ball a little bit more, Wiggins plays some point of attack defense, Davion plays point of attack defense, I think they could. Yeah, I think they could get back in the win column.
Yeah, and I think time off for this Heat team for Jaime, I guess, because I didn't realize he was banged up. But obviously, Paolo Larson's probably going to miss a couple weeks. That was a nasty ankle sprain. But hey, actually, it's a good thing now that we have to wait 5 or 6 days until the Heat play another game because of this freaking fake Emirates Cup that no one probably seems to care about, except for some of the players. I guess I saw the prize pool is kind of cool for the scrubs and guys who are on 2-way contracts, assuming they get money. Those guys will get $1 million for the team that wins. So SGA is going to get his 2-way contract guys an extra $1 million, which is kind of nice.
It's good.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, it's cool for the players, but for the fans, it doesn't mean it's meaningless to me, I think, as a fan and a lot of other fans. But sure, to the players, cool. They get a bonus. The guys who, I guess I was going to say, need the money. None of those fuckers need the money. But you know what I mean? None of those.
Right.
Guys.
Right.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Some of the 2-way guys don't really make a crazy amount, but the 2-way guys could use the money, let's say, compared to the rest of the league. But
for sure. Relative to the league. And you got to forget, man, these guys still got to take care of their bodies. They got to pay for their personal chefs. They still need to be able to do things necessary to be able to compete and have a long career. So, yeah, I think the extra money for those guys, especially the practice squad guys, will go a long way for them.
For sure. But also, if you're a practice squad guy, learn how to freaking cook. No personal chef until you have a standard contract. That's
dude, you know how many different cities those guys are in? On the 5 Reasons Sports pod, I know I'm not supposed to be plugging that, but
why not?
Jameer Young got interviewed, and he talks about his typical day, dude. And they are not taking chartered flights. They're on regular planes. They're in one city, then getting called up to Miami, and then they're going to another city. It's a lot of travel, dude. They don't have that kind of time, man.
I would do it if I could. If that was my day job, why not?
Nobody said you wouldn't. I'm just saying the Emirates Cup money would go a long way.
Yeah,
for
that's why I was
helping
bringing
them.
that up. That's what I'm saying. It's meaningful to like the guys like
Yeah.
14th and 15th on a roster and the two-way guys. That makes sense.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But anyway, this 6 days off, which I didn't realize we freaking had 6 days off. We have guys that can take the time to heal, and also Coach spoke and look at the film, and he could yell at Kel'el for 6 days straight and say, "Son, you need to freaking do better. Your report card looks like shit. Like, go study." Like my dad would look at my report card. He's like, "What the fuck? You got a C in this class?" And then he would yell at me, and I would get scared, and like he would scare me into getting an A or a B. So,
there you go.
You know, maybe Kel'el's young enough where he still needs that support. But again, hopefully Spoke can go to the drawing board, and Tyler can get in the lab, and Norm and those guys can focus and come back strong against a tough Toronto Raptors team. But anyway, that's all we have for this episode. Thank you for hopping on, Adel. Appreciate the time. Before we do hop off, just make sure the audience know where they can find your podcast and all your contributions to 5 Reasons as well.
Well, I appreciate you, Amir. Again, thanks for having me on. You can find my work. My podcast is Digital Adel Hoops, anywhere podcasts are found, even on YouTube. I'm now a freelance writer for Sports Illustrated, their website on SI. Article should be in the description below of this video. Just came out about Tyrese Halliburton and how his injury could supercharge the Pacers to be title contenders in 2026. Because this 2026 draft class is loaded. So be on the lookout for that. I'm going to be covering the Indiana Pacers, Orlando Magic, Miami Heat, Memphis Grizzlies, and Milwaukee Bucks draft content on SI for Sports Illustrated. And also, 5 Reasons Sports Network. You can find me on their post-game shows for the Miami Heat content as well.
Well, thank you so much, man, and hope to have you back on soon.
Welcome. Always happy to be here, man. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.